So as you all know by now, last week we got bombshell news that President Donald Trump has been implicated in federal crimes. So he is very likely in serious trouble. And as Glenn Fleischman reports, Donald Trump coordinated with Michael Cohen to commit federal campaign fraud, prosecutors state in a sentencing memo filed December 7th, advising a substantial prison term for crimes to which Cohen has pleaded guilty. Attorneys from the Southern District of New York State explicitly stated in the court filing that Cohen acted in coordination and at the direction of Individual 1 in handling payments to two women who claimed to have an affair with Trump long before the election. Trump is identified in this and other filings by U.S. attorneys as Individual 1, who was elected as president. The women are Karen McDougal and Stephanie Clifford, known professionally as Stormy Daniels. Cohen had in August pleaded guilty to several charges related to tax evasion, lying to banks, and campaign finance fraud, and stated in court he had coordinated campaign finance felonies with a political candidate that could only have been the president, and who he later identified as Trump. However, this is the first time prosecutors had stated in a court filing that Cohen acted in coordination with Trump. So we are looking at a gigantic shitstorm here. And there's talks that Robert Mueller is getting ready to close this investigation and soon release his final report, and as a result, he's turning towards the president and his family. And we may be looking at a Trump Jr. indictment in the near future. And even if Donald Trump is trying to play it cool publicly by tweeting things like he was totally cleared, which is definitely not weird at all, White House sources tell CNN that he's secretly shitting himself about now because he sees impeachment as a real possibility. So the question is, how will members of the Republican Party respond knowing that the leader of their party has now been implicated in federal crimes? Well, they're going to respond in a variety of ways. If you're Orrin Hatch, your response is going to be,
I don't care. All I can say is he's doing a good job as president.
It doesn't bother you, these crimes that he allegedly was involved in as president? That doesn't bother you?
No, because I don't think he was involved in crimes. But even then, you can make anything a crime under the current laws.
So that's one way that they're responding. I mean, yeah, I don't really care. He's doing such a good job as president, guys. Don't you love how we're winning? I mean, he's gutting the Clean Air Act. He's letting fossil fuel companies pollute. He pulled us out of the Paris Climate Agreement. But don't you just love how good of a job he's doing? No, he's doing a pretty terrible job. But if you're Orrin Hatch and you are a ghoul, then, yeah, you could see that it's clear why he likes Donald Trump. Now, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy commented on Donald Trump, and he actually tried to mount a defense of Donald Trump. And what he's going to say towards the end of this clip that I'm about to show you is very telling.
You look at what Comey said in there, the FISA, going after individual. Here they are. Comey knew that who paid for the dossier, and he still did not tell the courts. He thought there was nothing wrong with what they went through with FISA. I thought that was a major problem inside that investigation.
You just heard from Jerry Nadler. Here's Adam Schiff on CBS on Sunday.
My takeaway is there's a very real prospect that on the day Donald Trump leaves office, the Justice Department may indict him, that he may be the first president in quite some time to face the real prospect of jail time.
Listen. Schiff is the same individual who 2 years ago, before any investigation started, said he had proof and that he could never produce anything. His credibility is rather low inside Washington for his members on either side of the aisle. I think what it shows, if the president hires an attorney to solve a problem, he expects him to do it in a legal manner. I don't see, and if Schiff is taking this beyond to go forward and say there's a impeachable offense because of a campaign finance problem, there's a lot of members in Congress who would have to leave for that same place.
So that was a really interesting Freudian slip by Kevin McCarthy there. He said to go forward and say there's an impeachable offense because of a campaign finance problem, there's a lot of members in Congress who would have to leave for that same place. I think he meant same thing. So in other words, I mean, if we impeach Donald Trump for violating campaign finance laws, then I mean, could you imagine there are going to be other people in Congress guilty of doing the same thing? Well, is that so? I mean, it's not like that's surprising. We already know that everyone in Washington, D.C. is corrupt. But I don't necessarily think you're supposed to say that out loud. Mr. McCarthy, what are you hiding? See, there's a reason why you would defend Donald Trump for something that's indefensible, for violating campaign finance laws. It's because you yourself may have some skeletons in the closet. And it's not even like a lot of them would be impeached for violating campaign finance laws, because campaign finance violations occur, and oftentimes, the candidates are just fined. But I mean, if you're basically trying to cover for Trump by throwing everyone else under the bus, saying that they have done things that are comparable to what Trump did here, then really that's a bombshell. Maybe somebody should look into members of Congress. And hell, maybe we should impeach every last one of you corrupt bastards in D.C. who are corrupt, because guess what? Corruption is unethical. That's the first point. And two, if we're going to have laws in this country, we can't just apply them to the peasants. Elites also have to be found guilty when they violate laws, be it criminal laws, civil laws, campaign finance laws. I don't care. If we commit crimes, we're prosecuted and imprisoned. When elites commit crimes, when financial elites and Wall Street executives commit crimes, I mean, we'd be lucky if they got a slap on the wrist, if they get yelled at by Elizabeth Warren. So, if we're going to have laws in this country, if the Republican Party really is the party of law and order, then maybe it's time we investigate every single person in Congress and impeach people from both parties if they are, in fact, corrupt and violating campaign finance laws. So, thank you very much, Kevin, for revealing that. I know you're probably going to get reprimanded by other Republican Party colleagues that you have, but you're just confirming what we already knew.
Support this podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Humanist Report.